Yo friends, happy spring. I haven't posted much recently. It's just been so busy, but I'm finally catching up and starting to lean into the late spring, early summer kind of break for me. I want to just walk you around the property some and show you what has been happening this spring, how things have been changing and growing. The front yard food forest is going into its third season, many of the plants. And this vegetable garden area is going into its first season of truly being set up this way. And the tree nursery in the back there, every season feels like a brand new season. It's just growing so quickly. Like, how can I compare to what it was 2 years ago? If you've been watching my videos for a while now, you'll remember that right here was a small little veggie garden when we first moved into the property, and everything else inside this fence was grass or weeds, really. Last year I installed this fence from Deer Busters. It did a lovely job keeping out the deer, but I still had some rabbit trouble. I think the rabbits were climbing through, jumping over the rodent barrier here and climbing through these holes in the fence, or at least the smaller rabbits were. So I took the rodent barrier and I extended it all the way up here, so it's about 3 feet tall, and haven't had a single rabbit or deer inside the enclosure as far as I can tell. I have a couple rows here of mostly vegetable production. This first row along the fence is actually berries. So these are honeyberries. You can see here some are just starting to form, starting to ripen up. These are Japanese or a Russian, even Canadian berry that taste very similar to blueberries, but they don't require the acidic soil. These bushes are small. They're going to grow to be about 5 or 6 feet tall, just like blueberry bushes would. I have some strawberries that are starting to form, and eventually I want this whole area here to be a ground cover thick with strawberries and with these honeyberries overtowering them. I planted a bunch of basil that did not enjoy the random bouts of cold weather we've had. The second row is a perennial, kind of like Three Sisters. So we have asparagus running up the middle with strawberries on either side. And yeah, I want that to fill in real thick with the strawberry ground cover. And I also have these ramps or wild leeks. Their season's finishing out. So really, I mean, there's going to be this kind of progression of season. The ramps will pop up, and then the strawberries will really start to take over as the ramps are dying out. And then the asparagus will start to grow and really start to shade this area as the strawberries are finishing their production cycle. The next row here is, I have garlic and onions along each side of pretty much all these beds here. And I have a bunch of lettuce here in the back with some sunflowers popping up. They're my wife's favorite flowers. I have bush beans running on either side, and then corn running straight up the middle. I just planted it, so it isn't really sprouting yet. The next row here was producing a lot of spinach. I just kind of pulled and laid that down as a living mulch, or well, a dead mulch now, and that'll help protect the ground around my tomato plants and some of my other herbs like basil and chamomile. I do this every year where I get like really into gardening and growing the veggie garden in the spring. And then by the time like Sebastian's school's over and everything else that happens in spring, so a few of these beds could really do for some weeding and some care, but whatever, I'm busy enough doing other things that produce tons of food. So if a few beds go less than productive, whatever. I have this bed planted out with some bush cucumbers, some broccolini, some peppers. And then these are carrots I planted last year that I want to pull some of them out just to make it a little smaller and have more room for planting. But I want to leave at least half of them and let them go to seed. And then I can collect carrot seed for next year. And then the last bed here is I wanted it to be a row of perennial kale. Some of them died out over the winter, but are just starting to wake up. Some of them just starting to wake up again. And some of them, I mean, just look lovely, lovely, lovely going into the spring here. I really need to come through and do some harvest of the kale. So I planted some annual kale in and amongst the perennial kale. The ones that died out, I replaced with an annual kale for now. And then this whole row here is a row of 100-foot row of blueberry bushes. The air prune beds here are starting to wake up for the season and starting to look pretty nice. The black walnuts have really been the ones that have had the jump start for whatever reason this year. So much of a jump start that I lost a few of them to the very, very, very late, very hard frost we had. I don't see their dead sticks poking out anymore, but there was probably 3 or 4 that were an inch high when we had like 28-degree weather, and they didn't make it. Chestnuts are doing good in here, and hazelnuts. Put this floating row cover on, hopefully to heat up these boxes a little bit more and hopefully start the pawpaw germination. I have a lot of pawpaws here, and I want those pawpaws to start germinating sooner. They love the heat, but if they wait too long, they don't get big enough for me to sell. So I'm trying to get them going earlier this year. Some beds in the back that I've put less time into than a lot of the other stuff here. Some of it I'm kind of growing some like name pawpaw that I'll use for scion wood, and some apples that I'll use for scion wood, and mulberries. And then I have seeded in here really beautiful high quality persimmon seeds and pawpaw seeds that haven't started to sprout yet. So I don't know, I might have done something wrong, or like I said, it might just be they're waiting a few more weeks for things to warm up. The blueberries are finally looking really happy this year. Last year there was just a lot of red, a lot more than this even, but you can see there's a lot of green. I went through and I mixed in sulfur pellets to the top few inches of soil, and that seemed to have helped. I think everything just needed a little more acidification than what I had given it its first year. Just outside the fence here, I'm trying to create a native flower bed. I have a few non-natives like the zinnia and marigolds that are in there for right now, just so I have some flowers this year, because the native perennials kind of take their time. But yarrow and bee balm, a lot of good stuff. I'm really excited. Oh, that's some of Sebastian's yellow yarrow he planted and it's been taken care of, some phlox. So yeah, I think this will be a really nice, beautiful flowering area that'll help my neighbors have some beauty on their side and not just the garden beds. I added this shade cloth this year. I really tried to do some extra work in the potted area. I love to do most of my sales bare root because I don't have to create potting soil and ship this rich soil off along with these plastic pots. But I have found that potting things up is beneficial for me in some ways. For example, these were hazelnuts I couldn't sell bare root last year, so I potted them up to let them grow a little bigger, and we'll sell them next year. And so things like that. And I also found that this time of year, people still are buying stuff, and they want to buy stuff like these honeyberries or currants, and they can't really do it bare root, so they have to do it in pots. This shade cloth has helped just protect these young potted plants from the harsh sun. Everything in here in this area looks a lot happier and green and healthier than it did for me last year. So I'm really pleased with how this has been turning out. The living willow tunnel is really starting to grow. It's a pretty short tunnel right now, but you can see it's starting to make these really long shoots, which I will take in the winter and then shove those shoots into the ground and extend the tunnel by another few feet or so. The front mailbox flowers are starting to flower. I'm slowly replacing those with natives, but happy to let these give some beautiful flowers until the natives really get going. My lavender walkway here is starting to come along nicely. Starting to really be covered by some blossoms and blooms here. And some of the young baby elderberries are really starting to pop. I have a few of these name variety elderberries on my property. I want to have a bunch more, but I've been kind of waiting for them to pop like this so I can take cuttings of them and propagate them. And this is the front yard. It's finally starting to feel a little bit more than just a pile of wood chips with sticks poking out of it. We're starting to get some green and some taller height, diversity in the property. So I'm really thankful for how this has been turning out. And here's my sunchoke pile right behind this rose. These sunchokes are as thick as I've seen them in the last few years. I need to come in with some like shears and cut the tops off of all of these here very shortly, or else they get so tall they just flop over with the wind. I've read that you can kind of cut them here at this height and they'll still flower and produce tons of tubers, but won't flop over and be a little more manageable. So the figs in the front yard are starting to wake up for the season. Some of them are getting quite tall already. I think we'll have plenty of time for some of these younger figs still to produce some fruit for me. The mint, the apple mint from my great-grandfather's farm is just coming along wonderfully. It's being a really helpful ground cover for me right now in an area that's kind of dealing with some terrible weeds. I hate these so much. The sea buckthorn really starting to put on some height. The male here had flowers on it this year, not received by the females, but I'm hopeful maybe next year I'll see some female flowers. The Nanking cherries are doing really well. These were the ones that I had protected from deer, and so they had the chance to grow. They were covered in flowers this year, but I don't know if pollination was spotty or if some of the weird weather we've had. I don't see too many cherries, but there's one that's starting to form. The goumyberry bushes I have are really looking great. I think this will be the first year where I get a nice big bowl of berries out of these. These look like they're covered in berries. Still a long way to grow till they get full size, but I think I'll get a bunch of berries out of these medium-sized shrubs. The front yard could probably do the most work in terms of cleaning up, like weeding and such. But I don't have time for everything. Little flower rock garden is really coming along with some aster, black-eyed Susans. It'll really be beautiful here in a few weeks. There's a row of Nanking cherries here along the road, and then closer to the road is a row of beach plums. The beach plums should handle that salt spray from the road, and some of them I was working on grafting. A few of the grafts took. Let's see, not you. Here we go. So here's a graft that took. This is a graft called Early Purple. It's been really hard to find name variety beach plums. I don't even really think like Early Purple is a formal name variety, but probably just kind of like a random selection someone found that they liked a little bit more than wild, and which is fine. I'm excited to just have plants growing here that are a little bit better than wild and propagate those seeds and hopefully continue the breeding process. My little hazelnut fence row is coming along. These are all, oopsies, yeah, you can't really see it in there, but way down there is a little baby hazelnut. These are all really special hazelnuts that are a crossbreed between American and European to keep the American disease resistance, but the European like large nut size. So I'm really excited to have a lot more nuts to do some breeding work with. And then on the other side of the hazelnuts is this row of pawpaws. I have been letting these grow out for a couple years, and then just last week I grafted onto them. So I have maybe 6 or 7 different named variety of pawpaws here on the property right now. Hopefully, if all the grafts take. Some black currants growing along the west side of the house. They seem to be very happy here. This is the biggest elderberry tree on the property right now. This is one I started from a cutting 2 years ago. She's starting to flower. She is taller than I am and just covered in new growth. This puts on a ton of new growth every year, and I can just about chop it to the ground every year once it hits maturity, and it will bounce right back up. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant to have on the property as a native, but also as a plant nursery person, because you have so much plant material to work with every year to take cuttings from. The backyard has been the big spring project. There were a row of trees here. Black walnut and black locust and elder. They were nice. I loved having these trees and a little bit of shade, but they were leaning dangerously over the house and they really needed to go. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll just replace them with some other stuff. And I'm not gonna have time for that this year, and I'm just accepting that. So it's gonna be a weedy mess for a little bit on the other side of the creek. But we have these nice lights and posts hung in the meantime to help find some beauty in the backyard. The currants are starting to produce here some. And I'm making some little native flower gardens here in the backyard as well. Here's some Solomon seal. This is an apple tree that I grafted my first spring on the property. So this is 2 years old, and it is very much so taller than me and starting to put some great branches out. The trees here, just to support it, it's a little weak and wobbly. I've found that growing them in these tree tubes have helped protect them from deer, but if I pull them out of the tree tubes too early, like I did with this one, they just don't have the structural support they need. And so it just needs help standing up right now. Probably by the end of the season, I think it'll be able to support its own weight. Bunch of thornless blackberries behind me that are just starting to flower. Sebastian was jumping up and down in excitement when he saw how many blackberries we were gonna have this year. So 2 years in to the property and still not really getting a ton of stuff out of the perennials. The veggie garden produces as much as I have energy to put into it. But no apples or pears, of course, and honeyberries and blueberries and stuff. We're just getting little tastes. The strawberries are probably the one thing where I'll start to really get bowls of this year and hopefully buckets of next year. And the Jerusalem artichokes, but I don't know, I can't eat buckets of those. Starting to see lots of wine cap mushrooms popping up here with the rain we've had recently. That's been lovely. So second year in the food forest, I have all the rhubarb and all the mint I could ever hope to want. All the garlic and onions and stuff too. And all the flowers I could ever want. Not much else. It's still growing. I have lots of high hopes and dreams, and I really hope it all works out. Hope it starts producing some heavy stuff soon, so I can start sharing with the neighbors and letting them know that this ugly property is worth having in their neighborhood. Happy growing, friends.